Good evening guys, I'm going to discuss about how to work with the route parameters. So till now if you see the output like see list of students showing as a static content. So here what we need to do is when I click on okay it show as a hyperlinks. So when I click on the specific student, it will display the student details like a student name and like a student details, basically the name, roll number, what is the class he's studying for, and all the base details needs to be displayed in the next page, or in the next page, or on the same page itself. Sorry, it's not in next page, it's the same page. And one more thing is we need to show as a hyperlink, something like this. We have to show as a one more hyperlink with the back to the students. So when a person or user trying to click on a particular student, the student details needs to be displayed with the ID, name, gender, city. And one more thing, if user wants to go back to the student list, so when you click on user, when user clicks on a back to the students list, you should go back to the list of students. So this is the output. So here what I'm going to discuss about here is route parameters. So these are the student details. I'm going to get this from the web service, from the database. Like from database I'm going to get the data and display the data in front end using a web service. And this data needs to be shown as a hyperlinks, and mm, and the specific student details needs to be displayed for each student. So here what needs to be done is like we have to create a view. There is a student details view, and we have to create a controller. The controller has a function has to call a web service. From web service will call the database and get the data, and we have to so the things needs to be done for this route parameters. So we have to understand how to pass the parameters to a web service method that needs to be get it. So let's close this. So go to our Visual Studio. Just I'm going to modify here with the like a content, like a hyperlinks needs to be provided, and when click on hyperlink it will display the student details. So for that go to a web service. First of all, go to a web service. Okay, so web service. Here I'm going to add one more web method. Stop the debugging, stop the running application. Just copy paste this web method into web service. So we create a web method basically. So we're going to get the consist string, and using function we have to append this object to entire list of like nothing but a body. So we are going to get the we have to bind a connection string with a command, and we have to provide a query that needs to be get this a specific student, and we have to pass a parameter that is coming from a input, and pass the SQL parameter, and add this parameter command, and open the connection, then execute the reader to get the data for a specific student based on the query. Then we can loop this. Basically we will get only one record because it's a one student will get it, and we can basically will get this what is the name of the student, and we have to get the what is a female or male, and where he stays, which city he stays, he or she stays. For that we are going to get that object, and we'll uh, pass this object, and we have serialized using a JavaScript serialize function. So this is the web method I added here. Then next one is we can go to a student list first of all, students view. So here we have to modify in such a way that we have to get the hyperlink for each student name. To do that, what we need to do is just copy this anchor tag that will be show as a hyperlink instead of a static test. So just paste here. It seems to be a special character inserted here. To In order to clear this special character here, so we need to replace this with the empty space. So our special character will be removed because a special character is inserted because I copied from the OneNote. So in order to avoid that, so I just replace with the empty space. So so I don't have any issues now. I able to recognize this anchor element. So it will display the name of the student, and when I click on a student hyperlink, then it navigates to the students. Under students there is a student. We are passing the parameter basically. Next one is we have to add a route that will be similar what we passed as a students. So here we can add this route under the custom scripts. Go here and just add here. So here when user clicks on a particular student, then it will be routing to this route routing, and we'll passing as a parameter as id, and it will goes to the student details controller. So we need to provide a student details controller, and one more thing, we have to add a view. So the view name is a student details.html. So just right click on templates and just add a new HTML page name as student details. Same, what is the name here? We have to provide the same name. So student details.html, just we can replace with the what the content needs to be displayed in the content should be displayed as here. Just copy this and paste here. Just replace with this. So here what see here something like it is not recognizing element. To avoid that, this special character inserted because of one node, we had to replace with this empty space and replace all. So I can able to recognize the element. So here I create a table. Basically I need to show as uh, a student ID and nothing but a roll number, and I have to show as the student name. Then I have to show as a gender, and I have to show as a city. So the things needs to be displayed. And one more thing, we have to add the hyperlink. This anchor tag I'm going to define, uh, and the hyperlink with the students. So it will navigate back to the students view. So just save it. Next one is we have to define a controller. So that controller will be defined here. And the same then I think seems to be is a student service dot smx. So we need to provide the exact name of the service as a student service. So student service ASMX. So I corrected here, and we had what is the name of the method is web method is a get student. Uh, so this is a get student, and we have to pass the parameters ID. Just go back to the script file. So then we're passing as we're going to get the particular student, and we're going to pass the parameters ID, the route parameters. So what are parameters we're going to pass is a web method that needs to be passed through the route parameters. So the ID needs to be passed, and after passing this ID, then we used to get this the response from the web service, and we'll display into the object is scope object name is a student. So and go to student details. So here is a student object. So we used to get all the information here. So it seems to be we added everything. Let's see that it's we'll verify whether it's working or not. Build application and see whether it's building or not. So run the application and see the output. So click on students. So it seems to be we are not getting any hyperlink here. Let's see something anything problem. Let's see that. something is problem. We have to see why hyperlinks is not displaying here. It's not reflecting. Let's see that what is the problem. Let's see whether it's reflecting the same thing or not, or something. You can just do that. Just modify or give a different object and see whether it's reflecting this object or not. Hmm. It's a problem. The person source map. Something problem. Where is the problem? It's coming up. Press F12 and try to see that is mapping the same object or not. So I think it's still repeating the same old object. Mm. Oh, clean the solution. Let's try to modify something else. Instead of students, I'll put as invalid object something like joke. and see this and build a solution. Let's see whether it's hitting the same or not. Something is still showing as the same. Same thing. I didn't understand where the problem it is. Jokes is reflected here. That means I have given a invalid object, and I wanted to roll back to the old one and just save it and just clean this solution and build a solution. Just run in the Internet Explorer. Suspect the element and see this still pointing to the correct one or not. But I don't know why this hyperlink is not coming up. So hyperlink is showing. Hyperlink is there, but I don't know why it's hyperlink is not. Okay, okay, got it. Seems to be reflecting. I didn't recognize. So here, when I click on mark, it should display the values. Super. Seems to be. It seems to be the browser holding the previous values. That's why we are getting the old values. Now I am able to get the new values. I just try to change the debugging as Internet Explorer and try to see the values is working as expected or not. So I am able to get the values here, the ID, student ID and student name and gender, the city where it says. And when you click on back to the students list, so it goes to the back to the student list and you will get all the information. So I got the output. So here, so when it goes to students list, so I'm showing as a hyperlink, and when a user clicks on a particular hyperlink, it needs to be navigate to the route name as students hyphen and ID, and this route will be defined with the two things, that is a view and the controller. So controller is going to define with a function. The function is used to define with the web service, and web service is used to call a web method, and web method will call the database to get the data from database. And we're passing the parameter input parameter to the web method and get the data and display in the front end. So I got the output. This is output. So sorry, I just close this so you can, maybe you can just try in Google Chrome and see where we are getting expected the same output or not. Constraints, it seems to be web services calling the method. There seems to be still some problem, something like that. The output showing this, the whole browser is showing. That's the reason we are not getting a hyperlink. So if you clear that Chrome everything, then we'll get the output. So better we can open in the open open in Internet Explorer. Just stop this and go to Internet Explorer and execute this, and we'll get the expected output. So I get all the hyperlinks when I click on a palm. Pam, it will goes to display the respective details, last details, and again we click on the back to student details. We can click on John, we get the John details, and click on back to here, and click on my Rose. I will get the Rosie female, and where she stays is a Manchester, and when I click on back to student details, I will get all the list of students. So this is the output I'm going to get it. So that's it.